Orange reports that we've had like in the last week or so. As far as like the calls and everything, I don't see anything new in this statement that is under Orange jurisdiction that has not already been investigated. The newest thing, it sounds like to me, is that since Monday you have not had a phone call with your daughter. Is that correct?
So how would the what was I going to say? Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to look at the statement. I'm sorry, one second. Okay, so yeah, so 53A-192.
What about that one?
So how would that not be in your jurisdiction?
As far as applying to whom and what?
So like it says like when somebody compels or induces another person to engage in conduct which such other person has a legal right to abstain from engaging in, or to abstain from engaging in conduct in which such other person has a legal right to engage, by means of instilling in such other person a fear that if the demand is not complied with, the actor or another will 1. Commit any criminal offense, or 2. Accuse any person of a criminal offense, or 3. Expose any secret tending to subject any person to hatred, contempt, or ridicule, or to impair any person's credit or business repute, or 4. Take or withhold action as an official, or cause an official to take or withhold action. And it says that it is a Class A misdemeanor, except if the threat is to commit a felony, then it's a Class D felony. And so, like, how is that? I could write a supplemental statement if I didn't do a good enough job of explaining it. But how does that not 100% fit that statute right there?
What do you think?
Okay, so I'm gonna just break it down again. Can you pull up the statute and see it at the same time as me? Like, do you guys have access to like this stuff? Like,
yeah, we do, and I looked at all these statutes as well.
Okay, so could we start with this one? Can we start with this one since you're trying to just dismiss everything for jurisdiction? Can we just start with this one, please? Because honestly, I've made several reports about it, and if you're telling me, I can guarantee you that Yelnick and DeRubis never read that statement. They went in the back for 2 minutes and came back, oh, nothing's criminal. Really? Why don't you tell me? Did you read that statement? Did you read the one from the other night with Yelnick?
I have not read your statement. No.
Okay, because like if you read that and see what I wrote, it's like really bad. That's not even the half of it. And it's like, I feel like I can't even like report something. It's like you guys are telling me, oh, you got to go somewhere else. It's like, I got to go somewhere else. Everywhere else tells me I got to go to you. So it's like an endless cycle. And then this abuse continues and nobody does anything. And I know you've been to my house. How do you feel knowing that you were at my house, took my report of him violating a protective order. You guys did nothing. And then now it's escalated to the point where I haven't even seen my kid in 2 months. But you don't see that as a problem? I have sole custody of my other daughter. No court has ever said I was unfit. No court or no DCF, no court, no police, nobody in this world has ever said that I abused or neglected my children or that I was unfit. I'm clearly not unfit if I'm able to have sole custody of a 9-year-old for her whole entire life. Okay? And it's just absolutely ridiculous that you guys are always just trying to dismiss everything with this guy. Does it strike you as odd that he just got arrested 2 days ago for a felony risk of injury to a minor? But Waterbury, who is like so busy that they can't even answer the phone, was able to make an arrest and kick his door down and get her attention. But you guys can't even make an arrest when I sent you proof that he violated the protective order. Those are all felonies. And so this is exactly why I say I sent you guys a letter of intent to sue for discrimination. Because if you guys don't make an arrest for the 100 felonies I reported in my statement, I told them I'm going to continue to give them more evidence. I'm going to give all the stuff and do the best I can. And if they don't make an arrest, that is proof that you're discriminated against me. You guys are treating me 100% different. And this is violating my rights. I have rights. And the fact that they only have 2 female officers, the fact that it's 99% or 97% white men in the Orange Police Department is really concerning. The fact that you have officers like Officer Correa who shoot at people who are trying to shoplift on a $20 purchase and try to arrest mothers for no reason, and you got people having sex in the back with civilians, and that's in the news all the time, is embarrassing. And I reported serious things, and you're calling me to tell me you're not going to do anything. Please let me know when you have 53A-192 ready, and I can tell you exactly how this statement should be a no-brainer, how this applies. And if you need me to clarify it better, if I didn't clarify it right, I have no problem saying it or writing it. But I don't want to feel like I'm just being dismissed without being heard.
I'm not trying to dismiss you. I'm trying to. There is a lot.
So could we start with one at a time? Because, like I said, I have ADHD.
There are a lot of names that are listed here.
I know, and I want you guys to take this seriously. And I know the other guy, your sergeant said, ask for a detective, this and that. It's like if every single time something's going on, I'm getting a different officer, and then I write a report and nothing happens, and then the person just laughs at me and says, "Ha ha ha! Go ahead, call the cops. Go ahead. I don't care. They won't do anything." Talking about how he's got friends in the Orange Police, how he's got friends that's marshals. How do you think I feel knowing that I don't have this strong connection of corrupt people working for the government under the state when these are rights? But I guess people don't listen until they get subpoenaed and summoned for a federal lawsuit. And it shouldn't have to even come to that. It should come to somebody calls the police. If I can guarantee you that if I told somebody else to call the police and make a report just for an experiment, and it was not me, that you guys would arrest the person. And I can give you several examples of police reports I have over the years since I've lived here where there was the opposite party making a same identical complaint and theirs was treated 100% differently. And so I don't want to get more upset. I would just like you to just let me know when you could have that one in front of you. If we could just start with one at a time. I understand if you're saying you think some of them are not going to be handled by Orange, but if that's the case, I'd like to know one by one why. So could we please do that?
That's what I'm trying to ask. So you said you wanted to go over the statute. So I asked, who does this apply to and how?
Okay, so
I want to hear from you in your words.
Do you have the statute I just said in front of you, or could you get it up in front of you so we could look at it?
I do not.
Are you able to look it up on your phone or something? Because if you just type it in, it pops right up.
I'd have to go get my book. But I want to hear from you in your words.
I mean, I'd like it if we're able to be looking at the same thing, because it's like you guys should be going by the statutes. Like that's if it's something that's not familiar and it's not even ever heard of. How many times have you guys ever made an arrest for this charge? I can guarantee it's 0. I would be willing to bet anything I have that the answer is 0. So please, I'll wait if you want to get the book. I'd like to be looking at the statutes together, because if I'm just saying and you don't have it in front of you to see, it's all just nonsense. So I'll wait. I don't mind if you could get it so we could be looking at the same thing.
All right. I will go get the book.
Okay. All right. Yep, I'm here.
Hello?
Yep, sorry, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So what do you want me to look at?
Yeah, so I mean, this one here, it's like if you have, like you said, the ability to, like look at any of the other ones that I've written, and I could even send you like an email with a statement that just talks about all the stuff put together, because I could try to condense it, but essentially with this one, like, it's saying basically like forcing, in simple terms, it basically is saying like forcing somebody to do something that they have a legal right to do, not to do, like to abstain from it, and forcing somebody not to do something that they have a legal right to do. And so, and it's saying you can do that when you compel, a person's guilty of coercion when he compels or induces, so in other words, forces another person to engage in conduct, do something which such other person has a legal right to abstain from engaging in. They legally have a right not to do that, or they have a legal right not to do it, and the person, they're forcing them. It says induces another person to engage in conduct which other person has a legal right to abstain from engaging in, or abstain from engaging in conduct in which such other person has a legal right to engage, by means of instilling in the other person a fear that if the demand is not complied with, the actor will either commit a criminal offense, accuse the person of a criminal offense, expose a secret, take or withhold action, and or cause an action or to be withheld. And so again, like, I have the legal right to have FaceTime calls with my daughter. It says this in the court order, which I could provide to you. I'm her legal guardian. I have never had my parental rights terminated. So if somebody has no parental rights, they don't have any rights. If they have their parental rights, they're the legal guardian. So not only am I her legal guardian, but also the court order literally says that I get to have FaceTimes, and I'm supposed to be able to have phone calls and FaceTimes, and I'm supposed to be able to see her. And I have the transcript, which if a judge says something in court and it's on the transcript, that counts as an order, just like if they type something up and stamp it. And I have the transcript I can send you from June 15th, which was the last time that we were in court, and for the custody case. And the judge told him, she said, I told the judge on June 15th, like, in the last 3 weeks, he's only let me see her for like 2 hours. And that was after he got sole custody put to him. The reason she transferred sole custody to him like that was because she said I lied about the sexual abuse. I sent you that flash drive that has a lot of those videos. That is Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2. I sent a lot more of those and all of those to New Britain in a flash drive, and I can guarantee you they never even looked at it. That detective said to me, she testified in court, and I have this on transcript, that she said, unfortunately, I didn't have the time to read the emails. I didn't have the time. She said that she got 6 videos. I gave them like 70. And then I even made a complaint and came after and sent a huge thing in FedEx and a disc and all this stuff. And they're like, oh no, this was investigated. It wasn't investigated. They asked her one question. You can't look at me and say that that's investigating. And if you look at those videos, she's clearly saying that the son's sexually abusing her. And instead, he basically says he pays people off, all his friends, which I can provide you their names, who are all working for the state or the federal government. And he has all this money, and he just gets what he wants. And he was starting to tell my daughter in January, oh, you're going to be moving with dad. You're going to be living with daddy soon, and you're only going to see mommy sometimes. And then he started saying it more, like in April. He was saying it like all the time. And then I kept saying to him, please stop saying that to her. Why would you tell her she's going to be moving and living with you? That's not guaranteed. I even said it to the lawyer, and he's like, I don't know why he'd be saying that. And then we go to court for his criminal case because he kept violating the protective order. Like the time when you came, and I wrote a statement saying that he violated the protective order and gave evidence and video and everything, and you guys did nothing. And all the other times, and guess what? Then he just laughs at me and says, ha, ha, ha. Ha ha ha. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, call the cops, and taunts me and harasses me. He was told if he calls me again, he'll be arrested. He spoke to me on the phone like 100 times. He violated the thing 100 times. He should be arrested for 100 felonies. If it was me, you guys would arrest me the first time. And don't say you wouldn't. So as far as this one, it basically criminalizes if you're forcing somebody to do something that they have the right not to do, and forcing them not to do something they have the legal right to do. So he has been forcing me not to see my daughter and forcing me not to talk to my daughter now. And now he has eliminated all contact with her whatsoever. If I had a no contact order with my child, then you guys could tell me, oh, you got to go back to court. But I do not have a no contact order with my child. He has no legal right to force me to do this. And it says here in the statute that they do it by, it's just loading up, but basically it says if you do it by threatening to do something, and also it even says like threatening to get somebody arrested or make criminal charges or expose their immigration status and all that stuff. And so it's like, he literally is telling me, I will have you arrested for violating a full no contact order. And how do you think that makes me feel when literally I send you guys videos of him violating the no contact order, dozens of them, and you say it's not a crime? But you'll arrest a woman on a technicality and put her in prison, or not you, but everybody in the system will think that it's okay. And I can give you examples of things that are so shocking, and I just feel like it's like I'm not being taken seriously. I'm being just looked at as like, oh, you're a liar. Why would I lie and say my daughter was being sexually abused? That's why I have videos. That's why I record everything, because no one could tell you you're lying. That's why I record before I even talk to my daughter, because you could see everything in most of those videos. If you looked at any of them, are candid. They're all literally spur of the moment, me seeing her do something, and then I start recording just so I have proof. And it's like it escalated so much. And instead of the court intervening, they just completely tried to silence me. And now they've completely made it so it's like he has all control. But it does not say that he has the right to make me not see her. And it does not say that he has the right to make me not talk to her. In fact, it says I have the right to do both of those things. And I'm her legal guardian. So the stuff I talked about with the fraud and the mother lying on official statements to a hospital and forging as her legal guardian and things like that definitely can be reported to you. As far as the coercion stuff, definitely could be reported to you. Harassment, they told me can only be reported to you. The harassment for Scott, Wallingford said can only be reported to you. And they said that they could call you if they need to. I could give you the case number. I could get the police report. I could have you speak to the other officer. I have all the recordings, all the stuff. So for you to say that doesn't get reported to you is also makes no sense. And so as far as the coercion, though, it's a huge thing. And it's like that is also, when he's saying that he's also, it says it's a felony if the person is doing this. Hold on, I want to make sure I have the most accurate one here, because the one I was looking at here was from 2005. Do you guys have your codes updated all the time?
As far as what codes?
Like these statutes for the crimes? Do you have the newest one? Okay, because I see here it says end of 2022. I'm just pulling it up because I just want to make sure that, we're seeing the same thing. And it's like, I feel like if I'm reading this and I'm like, unless I'm like seriously missing something, but I really don't think so. So look, they just pulled up the newest one from December 28th, 2022. And it says, and they force them to do it by means of instilling fear that if the demand's not complied with, the actor will commit criminal offense, accuse person of a criminal offense, expose a secret, or take or withhold an action. And says coercion's a class A misdemeanor, except if the threat is to commit a felony. Coercion's a class D felony. And he is threatening to do a felony. He's threatening to have me arrested for violating a protective order, when the protective order literally says on there that I have that legal right to speak to my child pursuant to the family court order, which says I have the right to FaceTime her and it says I have the right to see her. It says access, it says on the protective order, access is as determined, exchange of the child is as determined by the most recent order. And it says that I get to see her. It says that he's supposed to let me see her. And the judge told him most recent order from that judge was the verbal order on June 15th, which said, sir, why aren't you giving her a schedule? Why aren't you letting her see Angelina? You need to make her a schedule. You need to let her see Angelina regularly so both her and Angelina know when they can see each other. They need to know when they're going to see each other. And if you see all the messages, which literally there's so many messages between us in this app where you could see the timestamp. It's like no one pays attention where it's like, oh, they don't even read the messages. It's like if you look at them all and you see what I'm saying and you see the timestamps where he reads every message and ignores me and he doesn't say anything. So it's like, oh, I sent it at 12:01, read at 12:05. Then it's no response. Then it's again a message and no response, no response. It's just like an endless cycle of ignoring me. And then I'll be like, and then on the phone, I'll tell my daughter, Angelina, I miss you so much. I want to see you. And she's like, well, you didn't plan anything in the app. You didn't message daddy in the app and get a supervisor. And I'm like, Angelina, do you even know what a supervisor is? Like, she just turned 4. And she's like, no, but daddy said that. And like, she'll be like, mommy, you're sick. You're sick. Daddy says you're sick. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, he says I'm not allowed to come to our house and I'm not allowed to see us until because I'm sick and I have to wait till you get better. Like nothing in the court order says she's not allowed to come to her house. He doesn't want her to come to the house because when she did come here, she was so happy and she cried and didn't want to go back to him. And so he's trying to emotionally abuse her and like brainwash her to get her to like not. And then he tells her, oh, mommy just doesn't want to see you. Mommy can see you anytime she wants. She doesn't want to see you. And then Angelina's like thinking I abandoned her when literally, if you see the messages, I'm begging every single day, please tell me how and when I can see my kid. Please tell me how and when I can see Angelina. And he just reads it and says nothing. Or he'll read it and he'll be like, oh, sorry, you can't see her. Oh, maybe next week. And then next week comes and it never turns into it. And so at first he was only letting me see her like, 1 hour a week. Then it turned into like 2 hours a month. Then it turned into none at all. And now I haven't seen her since August. Okay. I saw her for 3 hours on the day of the Orange Carnival. 3 hours. And that included driving to Waterbury and back. So it was really almost like 1 hour. And guess what? The next time I saw her was in the end of August for another 3 hours, including that same 2 hour round trip with whatever you want to factor in included. And since then, I've not seen her since then. And so now it's end of October. I'm like, I don't even feel like the summer happened because I literally have been just doing nothing every single day, but trying to get justice, get my kid back, because all they want to do is cover up the fact that his son, that's 17 years old, that knows damn well what he's doing, that's old enough to be considered an adult in the eyes of the law, to protect him. And that's more important to torture my kid because he got arrested. And then now because he got arrested, the punishment is I don't get to see my daughter ever, even though I haven't seen her for 2 months. Now I don't get to talk to her. This isn't the court saying this. This is him doing this. I have court orders that says I have the right to do this. Even the protective order says that. He has no right to force me to go months without seeing my daughter. He has no right to force me to go days without talking to her. I haven't even talked to her since Sunday. I don't even know what day it is. I'm just like, you don't even understand the pain I'm in. You're like, and you're calling me to tell me you're not going to do anything again. It's just like, no one cares. No one takes it seriously. It's like, why won't you guys arrest him? Like, I just told you, just that statute alone, the harassment, like I didn't even give you guys everything yet because I still have to put it all together because there's so much. It's like you can't even fit it all on one flash drive. Okay. And like, this is why I'd like to like be able to come in and sit down with a detective, come down there, bring my laptop, show them on the laptop and then give them the flash drive after with a copy so they know exactly what I'm seeing. Like,
so I understand that this is frustrating because there's so many different agencies involved, okay? When it comes down to statements, okay, what you just told me over the phone I might be able to do a more thorough investigation where you said specifically this week, this is what happened, this is what he's doing, and, this is, you think this applies to, coercion. When it's broken down into tiny bits, then we can do things with that. When you give me an entire statement, right, that shows me everything that's been going on since, what you talked about that happened in Hamden in 21, okay? I can't investigate every single little piece of that because it's not all of it happened in Orange, okay? When it comes down to writing arrest warrants or arresting someone, I have to be able to say that this person, I have probable cause to say that this person violated this statute or these statutes on this date, okay? That's what we as police officers have to do. So sometimes, I understand that you've been working tirelessly to put all of this together, that you've been dealing with all of this over, the past however many years. And I'm sorry that you've had to deal with all of that because it definitely sounds like we're getting to a point where you're past the frustration and you feel like no one is doing anything for you. And I can understand why you would feel that way. But when we're looking at it as police officers, sometimes it's easier to just take one day at a time and say, this happened on this date. And, we can then compile the probable cause from there. Okay? What Sergeant Kirby talked to you on scene, it sounds like that might be a good idea for you to contact the Assistant Chief's office and, talk to him about, hey, all of this has been going on, and I feel like I've been kicked around from officer to officer, and you feel like that's doing you a disservice, that the best way that the Orange Police Department could take care of you and, your complaint is to have a single contact individual and to be able to, contact this one person going forward. I think that's probably the best idea for you, and it sounds like that could probably alleviate a lot of this frustration that you've been feeling, over the years.
Is that something that you guys could refer me to so that I don't have to go through all trying to arrange that? Can you just both of you put in that down the chain of command so that that a detective reaches out to me and then sets up a time to talk to me, or is that something you can help me with?
Yes, we can. So I will talk with Sergeant Kirby again because he indicated on scene that he might be able to kind of talk to the chief and assistant chief himself and kind of refer that to you. But it might also help if you call the Orange Police Department and either leave the chief or assistant chief a voicemail, or they're in Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. When they're in, see if you can be transferred to them and just kind of personally request that. But yes, as Sergeant Kirby said on scene, and after this phone call, I will go and talk to him and make sure that we kind of bring this to their attention as well. And like I said, with the coercion thing, so I have a little bit more of a solid timeline, and what has been going on with you. And like I said, I can kind of investigate that portion a little bit further because you gave me specifics about what's been going on. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't promise that anything will happen, but like I said, I can then further investigate because I could say, hey, I'm looking into, this specific individual, you violating this specific charge, okay? Because like I said, when you give us these long statements with a lot of different, crimes that have been committed, and you give us 5 different people and, a list of all these statutes, it's kind of hard for us to kind of figure out what goes with what and who goes with what and where in the timeline it all happened. So sometimes these really long statements kind of, I don't want to say do you a disservice because you're not, particularly doing anything wrong. You're trying to put all your thoughts together, and I understand that. But sometimes it's just easier when it's just short, concise. On this day, this person did this. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And like that's why it's like when it happens every day, it's like I literally was documenting thing. I have a Word document. It's like 500 pages and it's detailing like all of the things that's happened that it's like and I gave Yelenik and Darubis that night when I came down there. I want to give them something so at least they can have the ability to start looking at this. And told them I want to come back and give them the rest. But I'm like, look, if I have 500 pages, and I keep wait till I'm done, I'm never going to be done. So I was like, let me just give them like the first like 100 pages or 200 pages or whatever it was. And I gave them that. And they're like, if you like see that stuff, it's like, it's saying on this day, this is what happened. Da, da, da. It's like, it breaks everything down so much. And like, I want to be able to like have that actually be looked at. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to just look at it in 2 minutes and be like, oh no, there's nothing. Like, because if you actually read it and see the pattern of abuse, it's like, so bad to the point where like this it's like debilitating. Like this is a way to torture somebody without physically touching them or being near them, but it's causing so much pain where and it's like so hard because like no one could see it. I'm not coming there with bruises, you know what I mean? So it's like you can't see my pain, but it's like destroying me like mentally, like emotionally. And like
I hear what you're
and
saying.
also it's like also the crime isn't just towards me, it's toward Angelina. She has the legal right to be with her mother and sister and speak to us and FaceTime us. That's her legal right. He's abusing her. This is coercion against me and a daughter. It's also risk of injury. It's also unlawful restraint. He has no right to be doing all this to her and to me and to Juliana. Like it's like we have rights. We're not living in a dictatorship country. And like I never lost my rights. It's written in orders that these are our rights. And so it's like my little girl who I haven't been able to hug her or anything in 2 months. And then in the last 6 months, I've only been able to spend less than 2 days with her. That's abuse. That's coercion. When he could let me see her every single day. He could let me, I promised her for her birthday. Her birthday was May 21st. She turned 4. He did nothing for her birthday. He didn't even get her a cake. And no one did a party for her. And I told her, we could do a party or we're going to go somewhere for a little trip. And she said, I really want to go on a little trip. So I told her we could go to Florida. She could go in Bippity Boppity Boutique and get a princess makeover. It was going to be a special thing. We were going to go like 3 or 4 days. I was going to wait till June to book it. And then in May, it happened. And then she said to me the other day, when I like talked to her like last week or something, she's like, Mommy, when are we going to go to Elsa's castle? And I'm like, breaking my heart to just be like, oh, yeah, we're gonna know soon and stuff. But it's like in my head I'm like, he's never gonna let me take her anywhere. And it's like until I can get like custody of her back, like it's just like torture. And like I've never seen anything like this. Like and I have sole custody of Juliana, so it's like her dad has no custody, but he sees her all the time. She's sleeping at his house right now. So it's like, there's no reason for him to not allow me to talk to my daughter or see my daughter. And it's torturing me. It's torturing her. He's brainwashing her. It's like, she's a little girl at age 4. You're like a sponge. And like, it's like, he doesn't let her go to church. He doesn't let her she has the legal right to go to church. He's not letting her go to church. She's not going to call the police and report this. I'm reporting all this for my baby to say, look, she has a right to do all this stuff, and she's being tortured, kept in a house, and even by Karen and Roy. They don't have rights to her at all, and they're not letting me talk to her. She's with them all the time. Matt's never there. And so it's like, I really just want this to stop, and they just think they could do whatever they want because nothing happens. So, yeah, if you could look into that part, I really think that.
So I, I'm not saying that I don't believe you, but obviously, I have to check with the courts and everything like that to see, as far as the parental rights and everything like that. Obviously, you're telling me what your rights are and everything like that. I just need to confirm that through, all the paperwork from courts and stuff like that. So that's what I'll kind of be looking into. Okay. So the case number that Officer Kirby gave you today, that case number will pertain to basically this week of you not being able to talk to or FaceTime your daughter. Okay, so that's what this case number is going to be about. Moving forward, do you have anybody with that you're kind of like a liaison with the family courts with, or a lawyer or something like that?
No, but I've been trying to get a lawyer for all this time, and it's like
Okay.
it's really hard. So
Okay.
I'm looking for people keep telling me, "Oh, call this person," and I keep trying, and so
Okay. Because that's what I would suggest. So either because moving forward, what I would suggest is contacting the courts. It sounds like he might also contact the courts regarding all of this as well. But I would say on Monday, because it sounds like something further, because you said there was a verbal arrangement for him to create a schedule, but there wasn't really anything sticking him to that.
well, she said it.
So
She said it in court. So it's like I can email you that transcript, and I could send it to you right now, actually, so you could see it. But like, if a judge orders something and they say it in court, you have to do this. That's still an order. Like, and so even though she didn't type up an order saying that, she still said it in court. And I have the transcript that's signed under oath by the court reporter that it's true, that shows you. And
right,
you
right.
guys could always confirm, oh, is this transcript legitimate or whatever? But all these stuff is in the record. And
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I kind of have to confirm with, and basically align your statement with all of this paperwork and everything. But
can
what
I
I'm
send
saying,
you
like, as
the
far as court,
thing?
maybe something more strict needs to be put on the court orders, or something like that in place. And then also, kind of moving forward, like I said, I will talk to Sergeant Kirby, and we'll kind of discuss consolidating some things for you, so that you don't feel like you're just being kicked around from officer to officer. Because like you said, you've been dealing with what, 3-4 different officers in the past week alone. So moving forward, like I said, I'm going to talk to Sergeant Kirby, and we will kind of get that rolling. Chances are, we won't really get to talk to our chief or assistant chief until Monday when they're in. So if anyone's going to call you, it probably won't be until Monday or Tuesday or something like that. So there won't be anything this weekend, unfortunately. But that's kind of the steps that we'll make here moving forward. And like I said, the case number that I gave you, I'll be looking into the investigation of you not being able to have phone calls with your daughter this week. Does that
Okay.
sound relatively fair?
Yeah, and just to confirm, is it 2331567?
31567. Yes.
Okay, and is your email etaylor@orangect.gov? I think I
Orange dash
okay.
CT. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna send you right now the court order from May 31st, which in there it says that at the end, like, she puts like orders, and she says like the mom's access shall include FaceTime calls with the child or whatever. And then there's the one from June 22nd, which I'm also sending, which it says like basically, oh, the same orders from May 31st are still going to be in effect. So those ones say that like mother's access determined by the father or whatever, and she'll be able to have FaceTimes and stuff. And then like I'm also going to attach here the prior one, which says that like it's showing like all the orders that came before that, and that shows that like we were both had joint custody that whole time before. Nobody's parental rights were ever terminated. I actually filed in to terminate his parental rights in July, and we have court date in the juvenile court coming up for that. And so it's like they appointed a lawyer for her, like a lawyer that's just represents Angelina, doesn't represent me, doesn't represent him, and that was court appointed by the state. And so like that lawyer just started speaking to me in the last couple of days. He just recently got assigned to this, and I told him, I texted him tonight, and I was like, this is crazy, like, and he's like, I'm working on it. And so like he says he does not think it's right for her not to be talking to me and see me and stuff. So it's like you guys can even be in touch with this attorney who's representing my daughter, because like I'm saying, like I'm reporting to you that he's also being emotionally abusive towards her, which is like child abuse and like neglect. And so like it's really serious, because like this is damaging her mental health and mine. And like it's like irreversible after a certain point, and then you just go crazy. So and then the last thing I'm gonna put is the transcript from this court date, which was the June 15th. And so that you could see, if you read it, that she's asking him like, why aren't you letting her see it, blah 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 blah. And then even I tried to file for a restraining order from him in Milford Court, and that was on September 1st. And he basically, it was granted in part, and it was protecting me and my daughter Juliana. And I could send you the transcript from the hearing from that, because in that one too, the judge says to him, it's a different judge, she's like, why are you not letting her go to the house? And like he just makes up some lies, and like my mom was right there as a witness, ready to speak to say, hey, no, he's lying, because he was saying like, oh no, her mother, she doesn't bring her back, and this and that. Like he never even let my mom see the baby during this time. So it's like he just literally like lies under oath nonstop, and then he just pays people off that are all his friends that are like running the system, and then it's like, oh, nothing happens to him again. It's like, that's why he's so mad that he got arrested, because it was like, it probably just happened to be like a cop that's not his friend that was on that night, and they actually took it seriously. And so like he's mad. And of course he's mad, because now he's got a felony charge, but he should be in prison and never come out. He's literally a danger to society, and he's so like charming, and everyone thinks he's just this great person, and like he's like a con artist. And so it's like, this is how I like underestimated him, because I didn't really think that he was this crazy. Like and it's just scary, because like I'm really concerned for my safety at this point. And I just don't know what to do. But I really just, I'm happy that you're listening,
Yeah, I mean, like we said on scene, it sounds like there's a lot of frustrations and stresses. I mean, I know that's an understatement on your part. So, like I said, we'll kind of make our steps moving forward, and, I will double check everything. I can't check my email right now, but once we're done, I'll check my email and go from there. And then probably by the end of next week, I will give you another call. Okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. Okay, have a good one. All right, bye.